Hey everyone, let's go over the month of May. I know I'm a little late, but I don't know, I always put these off for some reason. Probably because the month of May was so bad for me. It was just a really tough month, very choppy for me. At one point I had my biggest drawdown in my career, minus 23K. Luckily I was able to bounce back from that, end up ending the month up $20,000. So still, decent month. I know it wasn't really that good compared to the last 2 years. I think it's one of my worst months in the last 2 years. Mainly just because I didn't adjust properly. So I think the trend for May was focused on the best, leave the rest. And I wasn't doing that. I was just trying to play everything, trying to force trades, over trading, pushing size in spots that maybe just, weren't appropriate. And I didn't reflect. Reflecting is really important, and I just didn't do that. What I mean by that, you always want to take a look at yourself when you're in a rough patch and just ask yourself, what can I be doing better? And what am I doing wrong? What are the hot trends, and am I actually trying to follow those trends, or am I just kind of doing what worked a few weeks ago? And am I just doing the same thing? Maybe adjustments need to be made, and perhaps I'm not making them, and I wasn't. So that is why I had a rough time in May. Let's see. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to be going over some stocks. So to the right, you got the list. It's going to be kind of a quick overview video. I don't want to go into insane detail on these plays, but if you want to go into details, I would highly recommend just pull up the stocks and do your own analysis on them. That would be really helpful to yourself, and I think that's how everybody should go about trading, and learning trading. Just really put in the work. Alright, so let's do the quick overview. I'll just go right down the line. So ISNS, nice perk, consolidation day, and then on day 3 get a nice uptrend. Okay, so May 3rd, and real nice. You can see consolidation, entry zone, big move, more consolidation, entry zone, big move. And then this just had a crazy upswing. It just kept going, right? It just kept going and going. You think, oh, it's probably done. Traps more shorts, goes back up. Just really tough. Honestly, tough stock to read for longs and shorts. I mean, just a really kind of overall kind of rough experience there. Alright, next one, PRPO. This one had a big morning move, consolidated a bit, entry zone, big upswing, consolidated some more, entry zone, kind of anticipating and have a bigger upswing here just because it held gains. It held gains from 12 to 2:30. So that's 2.5 hours of just holding gains really nicely. And then it starts to curl into the late afternoon. So that's kind of when you can get involved again, anticipating a short squeeze or just a continuation of the move, which you got. Really nice. There's EFOI. A lot of people had questions on this trade that I nailed, because really they're just asking, how I knew, and obviously I never know, I just know what has potential. So I guess how did I know it had potential? Well, it's trading with some pretty good volume. Its print rate is really good. It was part of, energy, and I remember on this day there was a leader, a stock that was like a similar sector, had something to do with energy. It had a PR. It was, going crazy. And so this was basically just a sympathy play. So it's kind of a play that's in a similar sector, and then you get, to me, this is very clearly bullish structure. When you look at stocks on a day-to-day basis, how many of them are flowing like this? How many of them are just like consolidating in a range, how many look like this? Honestly, like, how many look like this? Not too many. You know, not too many. And the flow is just really nice. I mean, it's healthy, okay? And so that's why I get a little confused when people, I don't know, I guess I legitimately get confused when people don't understand why I'm playing this stuff. And I don't know, maybe that's hard on people, but I mean, really, you don't see stuff that looks like that often. I mean, it's incredibly bullish. So there's a pretty obvious reason to perhaps get involved, because if it curls and breaks out of the range that it's been in for 2 hours, or sorry, an hour, I mean, it can make an explosive move. It's a low float. It is a former runner. It's capable of spikes, and it's part of kind of a sector that was popping that day, right? So, I mean, guys, you gotta look at the details, you know? I can only do so much. I can only, I mean, I don't want this to turn into a rant, but it's just recently a lot of people have just been asking some questions that, you can find them out by yourself, guys. You know, it's frustrating to me because all of you have so much potential. Everybody has so much potential, and you don't need me to point out the easy stuff. You know, you can look at all the important details right in front of you. Okay, you gotta start using logic. Like, maybe I'm buying something because of what occurred before my entry. Really nice consolidation, and again, how many stocks have consolidation this nice? On a day-to-day basis? Like, not very many. So maybe it's just a really good opportunity. I mean, I don't know what to say. You know, I'm kind of going through a rough patch where I'm getting a little, I don't know, just a little frustrated because some BRN, same thing. I mean, it was just part of that same sector. It was a gapper, so pre-market gapper. It's on the gap scans. It's an easy watch. I mean, literally, this is like, guys, this is like day one stuff. And I had a lot of people asking me, like, how did I know to even watch it? Guys, it's a pre-market gapper. This is like things you learn on like the first week of trading. Come on, you know, pre-market gapper. It's good. You put on your watch list immediately. It's a pre-market gapper. I mean, this is just really, you know, really day one stuff, guys. And yeah, you're gonna have to have a second monitor. Get a second monitor right now. Order it right now, because you need one. You have a second monitor, you're right. You can have all the pre-market gappers or most of them up. Yeah, it had no structure in the morning. It sold off. It had a nice perk here, but you can't chase the perk. So then you say, well, it's part of a hot sector. I know there's like a leader. Let's see if there's a correlation. There's BRN and EFOI. So EFOI started spiking at 10:29. Okay. BRN started spiking around the same time. So the hints were there. The consolidation was there. And what I mean by that is, if you're looking at your second monitor and you see this start to have a really strong perk and then hold some really good structure, and what's the structure? I mean, you just get a really nice structure hold. So this was the entry, you know, the entry zone. As it's curling out of that trend, you're anticipating it's going to start to make a nice healthy stair-stepper pattern, test the morning high, break out of the morning high, have a sick run. Okay, like, and again, everybody, a lot of people were confused, like, why I was even watching it. Guys, just analyze the just look at the details. You got to look at the details. Pre-market gapper, put it on the watch list. Easy watch, easy put on your second monitor. You know, got to be aware of what sector it's in. Got to be aware if there's any hot, super hot stock that is in a similar sector, to where, okay, this might become a sympathy play. I don't want to seem like a jerk, you know? I don't want to seem like a jerk, but I never ask these questions to people, ever. Ever. In my whole life, I've never asked these questions to people. I always just I always knew, you know? And I'm trying to put it into words because I'm not trying to lecture or give people a hard time here. I'm trying to break through to people. Because it's important. Like, if you want to be successful in trading, and if you want to make a career out of it, or even just not be red and not lose a bunch of money, I mean, it's just important to understand. Instead of asking why all the time, just look. Okay, like, that's the most important thing I ever did. It's just getting in the habit of saying, wow, that's a really nice trade. How did he know to buy it? And then asking a bunch of questions. Like, instead of that, say, okay, what are the details? Go through the list, okay? Go through the list. Was it a pre-market gapper? Yeah. Is it part of a sector that's kind of hot on that day? Yes. Also, let's see, did it spike recently? Yeah. Is it capable of spiking? Yeah, it's capable of having some really big spikes. It's a lower float. I mean, all the details are there. You know, all the details are there. Yeah, I mean, it's I understand trading is extremely hard, but you're doing yourself a disservice if you ask me, right, the most basic questions in the world. You're doing yourself a disservice because you could find those things out in like a second. Like a second. You could find them out. Save yourself time. Learn more. You could just... I want you to have the fastest, most successful road. Okay? Just... I want you to make it. And sometimes being truthful and blunt, even though it might make people hate me, it might also make some people click. And it might be like, oh, you know what, he's right. And I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start going through that list. I'm going to start thinking about these things. And I'm going to start analyzing it for myself and figure out what would work best for me. And kind of think about how I can get involved in these things before they explode. And okay, those are some good details to think about. And going forward, yeah, I'll do that. So I'm trying to essentially help people figure this stuff out. And just help them realize they're never going to figure it out by like asking me day one questions. So just like a few days before, this had an insane move from 2 to 4. And it made that move in 20 minutes. It made a 100% move in 20 minutes. Okay? When you see a stock do something like this, you should then put it on your watch list. And you should keep it on your watch list for a week or two. I mean, it just showed something really kind of unique and special. This is something you want to keep an eye on. That's how you know to watch it. I mean, yeah, I mean, and that's the rough thing too. It's like, well, when there's also multiple factors, then it kind of really blows my mind. It's like, if you miss the pre-market hint, which it's like, it's on a gap scan, you should watch it. Even if you miss that, it should already be on your watch list. Because just a few days prior, it made an absurd move. Okay. I gotta be nicer now. I gotta be a little nicer now. Okay, LHDX. Now, LHDX was an insight play because, oh man, what was the other one? IHT. So IHT made a really crazy move like the day before and had structure that was very, very similar. So it was an adjustment play. So you see something that works really, really good. The next day you see something set up exactly like it. It's an insight play. You know this is a hot trend, and that trend has a really good chance of working because you just saw it the day before. And the market just saw it the day before. So it's in the market's mind too. Therefore, when I saw this, I knew I could go for it. It's not necessarily something I always do, because really this is risky. You know, it was very far under VWAP. Just goes, again, it just proves the point that you shouldn't use VWAP as an absolute. You can buy stuff under VWAP, that's fine. There's so many more factors than just VWAP. So just something to think about. Nice consolidation. You know, it dips very far. I'm not interested in it, right? But then all day consolidates. It's like, oh, you know what? It's held the range for a solid 3 hours. It's held the range for 3 hours. It's on a massive dip. It was really hot in pre-market. And wait a second. Just so happens IHT also was really hot, made a very large pullback under VWAP, and then had a late day surge and just exploded. As soon as I saw LHDX, and again, second monitor, it was on my second monitor, I looked to the right, and I'm just taking out, I just look, I just put in the work, I just observe. Like, if you're watching things, just take a glance, see what the charts look like. You know, if you're not in any trades, if you're not busy, let's just look at what's hot. You know, let's look at the charts. Is there any structures developing that I like? Has anything been holding in a range for a while? Look, you know, look. And this was, and I kid you not, I saw it here. Literally saw it at like 329. This was just me just taking a quick glance, late day. Saw like, oh dang, that held structure for like 3 hours. Let me take a look at that. That reminds me of IHT. IHT just worked great the day before. Let me zone in. 5 minutes later, I'm taking the entry. Okay. Trading a lot of times is just about being there, just being present. And if you're there and something hits you in the face, say, yeah, I'm gonna try that. I'm going to try that. You know, so I got very lucky to catch this play because I did just see it real quick, but that's how trading works. You just got to be around. You know, the more time you're just around and present in the market, the more kind of little hints you're going to pick up on. And the better your reaction time is going to be, and your confidence is going to be, because you're kind of aware of what trends are working, what's hot. And I don't want to get too into this trade because Alex B. the Trader, I did a video with him talking about this play. I broke it down in like very specific detail, and I mean, hopefully that video comes out soon. So. Alright, so let's see, MOXI, very hot play. This had a really big move, big pullback, recovers the range, starts to make higher lows, starts to curl. You can anticipate, okay, it might start to be a nice watch because it might test the former highs and then break out. Now this was a weird play, very weird play, because it was a swing trade stock, but it was like a very low float. And it had an incredible move. It just took a very long time to find the peak upside. It was kind of really hard to read. And the intradays were quite choppy. So I had a hard time with it a lot of the days, but some of the days I nailed. Yeah, so let's see. I don't even think I traded it good, but it's just something to analyze if you wish, because it had an insane move here. Yeah, you can see from this chart, I mean, it was really, really difficult. And you'll see more of this kind of gross looking chop on more like swing trade stocks, which is pretty much what this was. I mean, it was flowing on a multi-day, multi-week scale rather than kind of an intraday scale. Those are always going to be harder to day trade. So just something to keep in mind, but still just an incredible move, worth checking out in my opinion. Okay, so OBLN, former runner. So in May it got pretty hot. On May 10th it had like really nice move. So again, when a stock makes a really crazy move and it's a former runner, okay, well, I'm going to put that on my watch list. Not feeling it really these days, but then you kind of see, okay, it has a big gross pullback down to the support. And then I notice it again because it has another perk. Goes from 230 to 3. And literally anything that moves that good, you know, it's going to be on scans, percent gain scans. It's going to be on new high day scans throughout the day. And it's also just on my watch list already because, you know, I'm interested in it. And that's why I know, you know, that's why I see it. And then, oh, well, perked back up. Maybe it'll start to consolidate in this range and eventually test these highs. So I just simply watch it again. Or pay a little more, you know, closer attention, whether that be set a sound alert. Sound alerts really aren't for entries. They're more just like so you don't forget the stock exists. So maybe you would, you know, on this day you don't get involved, but then on the pullback say, okay, I'm going to set a sound alert maybe around this 290 area. So then if it hits it again, at least I remember the stock exists, right? But on top of that, you're also going to have it on like your watch list and, you know, maybe even put it on one of your charts on your second monitor. And then I had a big day on the 21st. So what I'm trying to say is you can watch this stuff because of facts that occur, right? This was the first fact. I had a really nice day. Cool. Okay, so really you should already know about it from here. This is another fact. It perked. Really nice day. Now you're aware it could hold a range, it could curl, it could test. These are all facts. These are all things that could happen. What do you got? Consolidation for the next 2 days. Formed some pretty nice structure there. So then you can anticipate, okay, you know what? It held gains pretty well from this day one surge. It could test that. It could test day one surge and then break out over it and maybe even have a bigger move and test the highs. These are the things you gotta think about, okay? And man, I'm trying not to get frustrated, but I mean, I can't really explain it any other way. You just have to work really hard, guys. Like that's what trading is. You gotta just you have to work insanely hard and be aware of what's moving, what's perking, what has potential, what's a former runner. Again, what's the float? Did it have news recently? Or is it flowing in a nice way? You know, these are just questions you should be asking yourself. I think the main thing in trading, again, is just having a process where you have a watch list, you have a second monitor with charts up. You know, the best investment I ever made was my setup. You know, I got 4 monitors now. I utilize that screen space. I think getting the 4 monitors set up, I mean, the return on that investment, it's just crazy, absurd. But that being said, I traded with a small laptop and a second monitor. My budget setup, I traded with that for like 3 years. Built my career around that setup. So, yeah, let's look at the 21st. Alright. So on the day of, get a morning move. What do you see? Holds a range. Holds a range all day. Get a nice perk. You know, there's obviously like an entry zone and this higher low kind of area. Test the highs, breaks out, cool. Comes down, that's pretty tricky. You might get stopped out. You might also just risk the key support because it held, you know, this is like a key range support zone. You might just risk the range. But if you don't and you get stopped out, well, it holds, forms some decent structure, able to get back involved if you got stopped out. There's an entry zone, nice perk, holds up, another entry zone if you wish, or an ad spot, and a nice uptrend, and then you get a massive play. And the reason why you would be watching this, everything I just said, and then of course you know there's massive upside potential because you're aware of the multi-week. You're only going to be aware of that if you put in the work. You know, I can't help people put in the work. I don't know, just frustrated because I got a message recently from somebody. Just, you know, I just feel bad, really. I feel bad because, yeah, I sell a video course, right? I sell a video course. And they bought it, and then they messaged me, like, they were frustrated, and like an hour later they blocked me before I could even help them. And, I don't know. I just feel bad. I feel bad. And at this point, I almost feel like, okay, maybe I haven't been harsh enough. Maybe I haven't been, like, blunt enough about how you're going to find success in this. I mean, I'm essentially charging $400 to potentially change your entire life. If you want to go to college for a career, not only does it take more time, as far as years and years, but you're also going to go into debt, tens of thousands of dollars. I'm charging $400 to potentially change your life. It's great risk reward. So even if you fail, yeah, you might fail. You might fail and waste $400, but what the heck? $400 compared to anything else in life, I mean, that's a steal. And not just that, this person only gave it a few months. I mean, my God, man. I mean, it takes years to get good at anything in life, and I want to help, and I don't know any other way to help people than just be blunt and be rude and be just mean. I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm going to be mean, I guess. I'm going to be really mean to people because I don't know how to get through to people anymore. I know I'm only talking to some people, like most people, I think understand this already, but I want to get through to the people that aren't getting it. I want to get through to the people that do have crappy work ethics, that do get frustrated and are quitters and are weak people. I want to help those people. They need the help the most. They need the help the most, and I want to help them. You know, and I don't know any other way now other than just being mean. I mean, the people, you know, then you weed out the people that just want to quit, and then the people that, you know, they might think you're an awful person or whatever, just mean or nasty, whatever, but at least maybe they'll have a shot, okay? AMC, obviously a huge mover from May. So this had a big perk from January 2021, and then it washes out. You get a perk out of that trend, and then you holds the former support, forms some structure, and you get a nice perk. This perk is basically the green light that, okay, this needs to be on your watch list every day for the next maybe couple weeks. Maybe you keep watching until it falls back under the range, or until it potentially works amazing. This needs to be on your watch list every day. You know, if something has the signs, put it on your watch list. Okay, you get this nice structure, breaks down. It's a false breakdown because it forms a higher low, like on this view, higher low, and then it breaks out of that trend. This is an entry zone, and it's a swing entry because look at the scale. This Literally, this is technical analysis that you see on a one-day chart. So like an intraday, you know, again, maybe a stock gets news, it's hot pre-market, has a pullback. In the morning, holds a range, perks out of the range, explodes, big squeeze. I just went over a chart that looked just like this in this video. Again, technical analysis forms on any single time frame imaginable. It's just like fractals, a pattern within a pattern within a pattern. You just have to realize what scale something is on and then play it accordingly. And I didn't do that, okay? I didn't play AMC accordingly. I played it bad. Really bad. I still made money on it, but I played it bad. Played it really, really bad. It was just a swing trade all the way. You know, it was just like easy size in here, easy size in here. Maybe not a trade on this day, but it held perfectly. And then on this day, easy buy as it tests the former high because it breaks out of 20. It could have an explosive move that fits scale. What does scale? Went from 2 to 20. So it could go another 18 a share because that's the scale. So then it goes from 19 or 20 to, what do you know, 38. Fits the scale perfectly. This one, obviously a lot harder, probably too risky. I mean, too risky for me, but I mean, it has a consolidation day, but the problem is the risk reward isn't that good because if any bad news came out or if it failed, it could really have a harsh breakdown. Turns out it was like a big gapper and then very volatile. Hard to get involved in. Really, you don't have to feel bad about missing that because if you nail the move from like, you know, the 12, 13, 12, 14, 15, even if you get involved in the 20 breakout, I mean, you're still nailing an absurd move, and it was so liquid that you can get as much capital in and out of this at any time you want. The type of play that I could have made $1 million on. I could have made $1 million on this for sure. And in the future I will, you know, absolutely. I will make $1 million on a play like this in the future. I have zero doubt in my mind. Alright. IHT. I already went over that. LHDX. Alright, so LHDX, very hot in May. Very hot. I'm going to go over one specific play that I nailed on it. Let's see, what play was that? That was on, let's see. Crap, what day? Okay, May 28th. Alright, so I nailed this day right here. So again, what is the common theme of like every single thing that I play? What's the common occurrence? It was hot, it pulls back, it holds a range, it has a perk, it holds up, it tests the perk, I buy the test anticipating a breakout, I get the breakout. I mean, this is what I do on all of my plays. I mean, so yeah, start analyzing the multi-days, the multi-weeks. Give it a look. If something is hot and perking, again, I had a lot of people ask me why this was on my watch list. If it's on my watch list because it's freaking hot, man. Like, what do you mean? It's hot. Watch hot stocks. Put hot stocks on your watch list. Alright, it's a former runner, it's a low float. I mean, it's moving, it's volatile, it's hot. Keep it on your watch list. It made obvious, it hit scanners like every single day for like 2 weeks straight. So why the heck is it not on your watch list at this point in time? It has to be on your watch list. Guys, we're traders. If you want to be a trader, you watch things that are hot. You watch things that can move. If you aren't using stocks to trade, get stocks to trade. Be willing to invest in good software that can actually, make you be aware of hot stocks. I mean, come on. This is day one stuff, guys. Time to get with it, Time to start actually making a watch list, putting in the time to see what's hitting scans throughout the day. It's time to start working hard. You know, come on. Everybody has crazy potential in them, and yeah, make it happen. You're totally capable of working hard and making it happen. Alright. Wow, this video took a turn into a rant, and I didn't mean to do that, but I can't hide my feelings. I'm somebody that's always... I'm just somebody that, if something's on my mind, if something's bothering me, like, it just has to come out. I don't really know how else to say it. It just has to come out. I gotta get it out there. I gotta get my thoughts and feelings out there. I just have to be real and honest. You know, that's gonna be it for the May recap. In short, it was an amazing month with amazing opportunities. Pretty much the same thing I can say about every month since I've started my career back in late 2016, early 2017. Every single year, every single month has been incredible, whether I made money or not. If you break down a month, if you had a bad month, you can say, I had a bad month. I traded bad because of, maybe break it down, reflect, think about the reasons why I did bad. And then if you break down the actual plays, and you look at actually what moved, it'll hit you. Oh, this month was incredible, just like every other month. The only difference is you. It's all you. You gotta start taking accountability for your own actions, just like I'm taking accountability for my May results. I didn't put in the work. I didn't reflect. I was lazy. I did not put in the proper work. I didn't put in the proper adjustments. My fault. Nobody else's fault but mine. Okay? The market? Don't blame the market. The market had insane moves. Has insane moves all the time, every day, every month, every week, every year. Incredible. The market's an incredible thing. Incredible thing. And if you don't have the results, it's because you gotta reflect. You gotta think about what's working now and how you can tweak and adjust to the conditions right now, to the hot trends right now. So that's kind of where I'm gonna leave it, you know. Maybe the harshness came out because I was really trying to be harsh with myself as well. Because maybe I felt like I needed somebody to slap me in the face, and I'm not afraid to slap myself in the face. Don't be afraid to give yourself a hard time when you deserve it. Don't be afraid to be a bit hard on yourself when you deserve it. I know I deserved it. May was not good for me, and it's my fault. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.